Knicks owner and noted vape pen guy, James Dolan. I mean, this guy is so far detached from reality. So far detached from reality. Yet it's even worse than I thought. Because that most recent episode of Mystifying Behavior, which took place at MSG last Saturday, remember that? A fan yelled at him to sell the team. And he not only stopped to engage that fan, he stopped to tell that fan, you're not allowed to come here anymore.
Sell the team! Anything I should sell the team? You want to not come to any more games? Why? Yeah, that's rude. It's an opinion. No, it's not an opinion. And you know what? Enjoy watching them on TV.
Him, what? Bring him, yeah, him, hold him for Kevin. Hold him for Kevin. Hold him for Kevin.
I gotta tell you something, the more I hear that clip, the more I watch that clip, the better it gets. It gets better every single time. Hey, do you want to not ever come to these games anymore? Yes, I would like to never come to these games anymore. I mean, that clip is incredible. And then there's banning a paying customer from your building because he told you to sell the team. And that's not just all he did. It's not just that he did that. He did it like in 5 seconds flat.
Boy, that escalated quickly.
Quickly. And really, it's not even that. It's that the guy actually stopped to engage the fan instead of walking right through. But since it's Jimmy D we're talking about, of course he did. Of course he stopped to talk to that fan. Of course he stopped to engage that fan only to ban him from his house. And of course, he found the nearest media outlet that he has not blackballed yet, and he went and he doubled down, which is exactly what happened on 98.7 ESPN, New York. Just when you thought that this guy had hit rock bottom, this guy found even new ground that he could break. Quote,
you know, it appears that this gentleman and his friends, right, planned to do this, cleared their profiles out. Right. We have video, which I think we've supplied to you, which shows them moving from one side of the arena to the other and pointing at me and
the way you were walking out,
where I was walking, right, and saying, to set this ambush up, and they did, and and then as soon as they were done with it, it was immediately sold to TMZ. Not for nothing, but I shouldn't have taken the bait.
Hey, Jimmy. Not for nothing. Not for nothing, but here's the definition of the word ambush. Quote, a surprise attack by people lying in wait in a concealed position. End quote. What exactly is concealed about that position right above the tunnel in MSG? What exactly is concealed about waiting in plain sight, in broad daylight? The fact that this guy is complaining that he got ambushed in his own house in front of 18,000 people is amazing. It's hilarious. I mean, sure, the fan might have set the whole thing up. He may have moved from one end of the arena to the other so he could yell, sell the team at the owner. But let's not confuse setting you up because you're a chump with being an ambush. I mean, how the hell is it any different from a fan moving from one end of the arena to the other to get a picture or an autograph or a better seat? Are fans not allowed to move around MSG? You see, there is a difference between a setup and an ambush. In an ambush, you don't really have a choice. You have to engage in an attack. In this setup, you can do whatever the hell you want. You can do what you should have done, and that is just keep moving. But you didn't. You stopped. And you approached the fan, and you sentenced him to a life of watching the Knicks on TV, which is not a punishment. It's actually like a reward. My man, fish are not ambushed by a hook and a reel. They're baited. And you've got no one to blame but yourself for having yet another gigantic metal hook in your face right now, Jimmy. You know what video doesn't sell to TMZ, Jim? Do you know what video does not sell to TMZ? Do you know what video Harvey Levin will not buy? A video of an owner continuing to walk right through a tunnel after a fan yells, sell the team. That same video does not even get posted on the setup man's personal Instagram because that video sucks It's boring, and it's not interesting to anybody at all. But go ahead and keep blaming the fan for getting the best of you. Like, yo, man, that's not my fault. That's not my fault. That was the fan's fault. It's not my fault as the owner. It's the fan's fault. Hey, what's next, Jim? Is it not your fault that you make the worst music ever? Guitar's fault? Is it strumming itself? Is that axe playing itself? Dolan also said in the same interview, quote, the ban is only coming from the fact that we have now learned that the fan planned it. So in other words, if you just spontaneously yell at the owner, it's all good, but it was premeditated, so that's why he's gone? And the guy just wouldn't stop. Once he started, he would not stop. Dolan continued, quote, they were stalking me. You can't do that in Madison Square Garden. You're not allowed to stalk to the owner and then confront him like that. This guy, they stalked him and confronted him. Like they got the arena and cold cocked him or something. Dude, I mean, do you know what any of these words even mean? It's not stalking to move from one end of the arena to the other. It's not confronting to scream from high above the tunnel, sell the team. Stalking and confronting would be casing out where you live and waiting in your garage for when you get home and something horrific happened. That's stalking and confronting. But I digress. Because I would hate to get served with a restraining order for stalking and ambushing Dolan with this take. Because it's not his fault that I'm talking about how delusional he is. It's mine for thinking about talking about it and then going ahead and talking about it. For planning to talk about it and then doing so. Yo, Jim, it's your world. We're all just living in it. Now, please ban me from ever having to talk about you again on this or any other show I do.
Hold him for Kevin.